Will Calgary's free fare transit zone downtown be scrapped?
All options are on the table with this notice motion.
Some councillors want to examine whether the policy still makes sense.
I think they should absolutely keep it.
Plus, opioid deaths dropped by at least a third in Alberta.
But it's certainly not anything that is directly related to the Alberta model.
So what is the reason? And what's the impact of closing supervised consumption sites? And thousands of provincial employees must return to the office.
We bought that place with the idea that I work hybrid.
Is work from home flexibility disappearing, even though most workers want it?
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. 3 junior hockey players have been killed in a highway crash south of Calgary while on the way to practice. Camilla Di Giuseppe joins us now. So Camilla, what have we learned about this crash and the players involved?
Tara, I've been in contact with the father of Caden Fine, one of the 3 boys who died in the crash this morning. He was just 17 years old. His father tells me Caden was such a great kid and living his dream playing with the Southern Alberta Mustangs. According to the team's website, he was a center. Caden was also from Alabama and came to Alberta to pursue his love of hockey. Caden's parents are now making their way to Calgary as we speak. And as you can imagine, Tara, they're absolutely shattered, but wanted us to share these photos of their son and let people know how loved he is. On to the crash investigation. We know that it happened on Highway 2 near the town of Stavely around 11 a.m. Stavely is about an hour south of Calgary. RCMP say a large semi-gravel truck collided with a car. The hockey players were in that car. Calgary EMS say it was an ambulance crew transferring a patient unrelated to this tragic incident that came across the crash and then called for help. The Mustangs hockey team releasing a statement today saying there are no words to adequately express the depth of our grief, adding these young men were more than hockey players. They were teammates, sons, brothers, friends, and deeply loved members of our Mustangs family and the communities we call home. The Mustangs write, "We are family, and today our family is hurting." And we know, Tara, RCMP have completed the next of kin notifications with the families of Caden Fine's 2 other teammates. They are 2 18-year-olds from Kamloops, BC. The investigation into the crash ongoing, of course. We can tell you the driver of the gravel truck, a 40-year-old man from Stavely, was treated for minor injuries on the scene, and we will bring our viewers more details as they become available. Tara?
Okay, Camilla, thank you for that. Opioid deaths are finally starting to fall across the country. Here in Alberta, over the past 2 years, deaths have declined dramatically. But as Kevin Green reports, the province is continuing to move to overhaul addiction, treatment, and close safe consumption sites.
Outside the SafeWorks consumption site on 13th Avenue Southwest, 31-year-old Rebecca is waiting for the doors to open. She and her husband, Jay, are both users. They've been homeless for 6 months. She says SafeWorks is their lifeline.
So you think SafeWorks and places like it save lives?
Absolutely. 100%. No doubt about it.
Have they saved your life?
Yes.
Opioid deaths hit a peak in 2023 when in the first 6 months of the year, 952 people died in the province. Last year in that same period, it fell to 602, a drop of 37%. In a statement to CTV, the province's Minister of Mental Health and Addictions says, "It is good to see opioid-related death numbers decline. However, we know these numbers fluctuate from month to month." But went on to say consumption sites must close, stating drug consumption sites were designed as short-term measures. They were not meant to be permanent. The government plans to move to a new method of treatment, including a virtual opioid dependency program. The NDP addictions critic says closing the SafeWorks site will not promote better outcomes for addictions or solve social disorder.
When folks are able to access the supervised consumption site, it means that they're not using at the public library, they're not using in the city at City Hall, they're not using in stairwells and doorways of businesses.
The province has been talking about closing SafeWorks since 2021, but wanted city buy-in. Tuesday, Councillor Landon Johnston will present a notice of motion asking his fellow councillors to do just that.
The whole premise of it is to ensure that the city of Calgary is on the same page with the province of Alberta, right? We had an experiment with the Sheldon Schumer Centre, and it clearly didn't work.
Back at SafeWorks, Rebecca says she's already seen the results of government cuts and says it isn't pretty.
I've already noticed an impact in the community due to a cutback on funding. People are sharing equipment, becoming more violent when equipment isn't available.
And Kevin joins us from the Sheldon Schumer tonight. Kevin, if it isn't the availability of safe consumption, then what's driving the decrease in the opioid deaths?
There's a number of factors, including the way users ingest drugs more, are smoking them now rather than injecting them, leading to a lower rate of death. Also, there's been a change in the toxicity of some of the opioids hitting the Canadian black market over the past couple of years. Another big factor is the wide availability of naloxone kits like this one, which can be used to help somebody who is in the throes of an overdose. All of those also factor in with education, which is where safe consumption sites like SafeWorks come in. It's been a big component of what they've been doing since they were founded. Tara?
Okay, Kevin, thank you. Police from the Tsuut'ina Nation and Calgary, along with search and rescue crews, conducted several searches this weekend as part of an ongoing homicide investigation. It's in connection to the death of Faisal Osman Abdul Aziz in Calgary's Ogden neighborhood on December 10th. Police believe the 32-year-old was targeted and the shooting is connected to organized crime. 3 or 4 suspects were taken into custody near the Tsuut'ina First Nation at the time, but no charges have been laid. CPS says Saturday's search of roadsides and green spaces on the nation recovered several items of interest. Investigators are now working to determine if they are connected with the case. The future of Calgary's fare-free transit zone downtown will be subject to debate again from City Council. The free fare zone has been around since the late 1970s, right along 7th Avenue downtown. The notice of motion is being spearheaded by 2 city councillors, and they're hoping to either modify it or have it completely scrapped. Tyson Fedor explains.
The City of Calgary has offered transit riders free service through a 2.5-kilometer stretch in downtown for decades.
The free fare zone kind of started as a pilot project in 1979 when there was no LRT at the time. It was 15-cent fare, and the bus only ran from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so it's kind of a legacy that's stuck around over the years.
But now Ward 3 Councillor Andrew Ewell and Ward 6's John Pantazopoulos want to find ways to enhance transit, and that could mean removing the free fare.
All options are on the table with this notice motion, and I think the place that I would like to focus our subsidies would be our low-income transit passes. That's where the most vulnerable need a subsidized transit system.
The motion to be presented Tuesday calls on the city to undertake a comprehensive review of the downtown Calgary transit free fare zone. It points to looking into the financial implications of establishing downtown as a fare paid zone by studying any projected changes in fare revenue, the cost of increased enforcement, and the feasibility of a tiered fare structure. Some students say the free fare is vital for their commutes.
It's a big help for us, like me as a student. So yeah, I think we should keep it.
I can't live without transit, and I can't imagine how difficult it's going to be for people that have to renew their tickets every 60 minutes, which I think is kind of insane. And then also the upping of prices with the tickets, I think that's ridiculous.
The motion includes consultation with the Calgary Downtown Business Association, Tourism Calgary, the Chamber of Commerce, and post-secondary students. But some Calgarians would support changes to the system.
I mean, some minimal charges. Yeah, it will be good for government also. Because free, it's all of loss, right? No benefit.
Tyson joins us from the City Hall station tonight. Tyson, Calgarians should have some answers this summer if this passes.
Well, Tara, City Council will potentially vote on this notice of motion tomorrow when it is brought forward. However, it's unclear how City Council will vote on this. From there, if it passes, City Administration would have until the end of June to bring forward any findings or potential alternatives. Now, if we get to that stage and City Council wants to move forward with this, that is when they would make a decision on whether or not they will keep this program in process like it has done for so many decades, or scrap it for good. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
After years of a hybrid model, thousands of Alberta government employees returned to work in the office full-time this morning. The province has mandated all of its employees must now work completely in person, and it's already proving to be a jarring switch for many. Tim Brooke explains.
It's back to the office for about 12,000 Government of Alberta employees, and most aren't happy.
I took a look at some other positions that the Government of Alberta had open to see if there was anything that was fully remote.
The province has ended its hybrid work option, which means a return to in-office lunches, water cooler talk, and long commutes.
So it's about 6.5 hours a week that I'm losing having to come back to the office 2 days a week. So it is a big change for me.
The Alberta Union of Provincial Employees says the large majority of its 9,000 members aren't pleased. It speculates ending remote work is to boost local economies, which the government rejects.
We've yet to hear or be provided with any fact-based rationale as to why this decision was made. And so members feel like, trust is being eroded.
The province tells us the decision was made independently by the Public Service Commission as part of its responsibility to manage the public service and ensure operational excellence. It says the hybrid work model introduced during COVID was always intended as a temporary measure.
The government did this without really consulting workers. They did it because other people were doing it. I just don't think that's a very good way to run a big organization.
Ending remote work follows a new study that ranks Calgary dead last among major Canadian cities for workplace flexibility. It says almost 88% of jobs require full-time in-person presence, despite more than 60% of Canadians wanting a hybrid option.
If you want to attract talent, you have to offer flexible jobs. That attracts younger people, and I think older people, more senior people, are not that flexible anymore.
But in Alberta, the province has made up its mind, and the union has filed a policy grievance. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Ontario also recently ended its hybrid work option, and soon federal employees will also have to return to full-time in person in Manitoba, BC, and New Brunswick. They're still using the hybrid model. Well, there are a handful of wildlife rehabilitation facilities in this province. They treat any animal that's brought to them and nurse them back to health. The Alberta Institute for Wildlife Conservation set a new annual record for the number of patients it treated in 2025. 2,103 animals came through the doors needing help. Kevin Fleming reports.
This great horned owl is being assessed by staff at the Alberta Institute for Wildlife Conservation. They think it may have flown into a few windows and suffered head trauma.
We are being just very cautious. You saw the gloves and the gowns and everything like that. They can be a avian influenza species. So at this time, head trauma and avian influenza look quite similar, so we're just being extra cautious, but we're running a bunch of blood work to just kind of see what's going on.
Cassandra Lacusta says 2025 was a busy year for staff here, treating injured and orphaned wildlife.
We had, I think, the highest number of ducklings we've ever had, and even then we set the record the year prior. So we set the record now 2 years in a row for the highest number of ducklings, which is insane.
Lacusta says staff deal with many of the same species of wildlife repeatedly, like ducklings, but last year they saw more than a dozen mountain cottontails when they'd only treated 10 since the facility opened in 1993.
We have never raised that many mountain cottontails, but we adapted and figured it out. We had to do a lot of research, which took a lot of time off of our staff to make sure that we were treating them all properly and getting them all the right nutrition and everything.
The Institute relies on public donations to operate. More animals annually means higher expenses for medications and food because they all have different needs.
The bigger they are, the more they cost. So things like our bear cubs, for example, can cost $100 a day to feed, between formula, meat, fruit, vegetables, and then staff time as well. The training that goes into making sure people know how to do these things, that also doesn't cost nothing. So it's quite expensive to take care of a lot of these animals.
The Institute is looking at finishing up some outdoor projects in 2026 for some of the larger animals that it will likely see this year. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, near Madden.
The Calgary Zoo has officially named 2 orphan grizzly cubs it took in last year from southern Alberta. Meet Fitz, he is the light-colored cub, and Turner is the darker cub. They were brought to the Wilder Institute after their mother was killed in an encounter with a human near Diamond Valley. They were only born last year, so they would have died if they'd been left alone in the wild. Fitz is named after Fitzsimmons Creek near Diamond Valley, and his brother is named after Turner Valley. Bit of a surprise, one was originally thought to be a female, but an in-depth Health check confirmed both cubs are actually males. The pair will be available for public viewing come spring. Well, we've got a very spring-like week ahead, actually. Let's check in with Danielle. This does not feel like February.
You're right. This is that false spring, because spring doesn't officially begin until March 20th, but it's going to feel like it. In fact, we're even heading into record-breaking warmth territory for Calgary and all of southern Alberta. The warmest days will be Wednesday and Thursday, but all days will be warm. 7 degrees right now. We did get to 10 degrees earlier today. This is thanks to the Chinook winds. So gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour, certainly possible for the next hour or two, and then it quiets down overnight. The winds will be calm tomorrow, 0 as we head off to work and school, and then a high of 9 degrees in the afternoon and much warmer after this. We'll talk more about that coming up, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Thefts from construction sites are on the rise. We'll show you what's being targeted and why it's adding to the costs and the delays in home building. And another recall petition has concluded without getting the number of signatures needed. Those details are just ahead. A garage went up in flames in Monterey Park yesterday. The fire damaged a vehicle parked outside and then spread to the house. Nobody in the home was injured, but one firefighter did suffer minor injuries fighting the blaze. A worker was killed and another injured at an oil sands site near Fort McMurray late last week. It happened at the Christina Lake North site. Occupational Health and Safety says the workers were struck by a pipe that rolled off a truck they were unloading. Cenovus Energy says the workers were employed by a third-party contractor. This is the second workplace death in the oil sands this year. Last month, a worker died while operating a piece of machinery that sank into muskeg at Suncor's Fort Hill site. Calgary police are sounding the alarm on thieves targeting new build construction sites. One home builder says it's become normalized with all sorts of housing material being taken. And as Tyler Barrow explains, it's homeowners paying the price.
Building almost 600 single and multi-family units, Trico Homes notices trends in the industry. One it's seeing a lot of lately is theft.
If I sent a note out today and asked and said, what was the most recent theft that we see? I'm pretty confident that we'd find out there was theft over the weekend.
The Trico Homes president says it has almost become accepted within the industry. Copper wire is commonly targeted by thieves, but it is not limited to that, as lumber along with household appliances and other materials are also being taken. Construction site thefts have been on the rise in the city. In 2020, there was just over 260, 308 in 2024, and over 370 in 2025.
It is something that we're seeing that's trending, and it's fairly significant, obviously, to the home builders as well as to our community.
And a significant impact to the homeowner's wallet. Thefts could drive up the price of a home anywhere from 3 to 7%.
A set of appliances, you're looking at almost $10,000 that are disappearing that you have to recover the costs on. You look at the wire, housing material is not that cheap.
It can also delay their move-in day. To help prevent and track the problem, the company has put Apple AirTags in its material. Construction sites are also taking extra measures to protect against theft, driving up their costs.
They're adding fences, they're adding lighting, they're adding cameras, maybe in some cases security patrols. And so they're spending money to try and save lost money from thefts.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The Trico Homes CEO says there are so many thefts, some builders don't even bother reporting them. However, police ask all builders to come forward when thefts take place to help prevent it. Visitors to Calgary are basking in this unseasonably warm temperatures blanketing the city.
It's like winter, but it's not winter because it's basically summer with a cool breeze.
That's a pretty good description of our weather today. That's a youngster visiting from Toronto. It's much colder there at the moment. The mild February conditions made for a great day to head out for a walk or a jog. Others didn't seem to mind the melting ice. They laced up for a skate on one of the city's outdoor rinks. A much different story out east, though. A nor'easter is bringing strong winds and up to 50 centimeters of snow in some parts of eastern Newfoundland by tomorrow morning. Much of the rest of the province is forecast to get about half of that, as well as high winds. Most of Nova Scotia is under winter storm warnings, and upwards of 25 centimeters of snow could fall there as well. We just have mushy outdoor rinks.
Yeah, we're mushy and it's slippery. And don't wear your best shoes because the melting will continue. And that's really our issue here. Well, they've been dealing with, 50 centimeters of snow in Toronto last week and now out east, Atlantic Canada. So there's a lot going on out there. They're socked in with the cold and we are just getting warmer and warmer and much warmer. Okay, today, thanks to the Chinook winds, this is why we're warm and why we got into the double digits in Calgary. South of the city, it was fairly gusty. 74 kilometers per hour was the max in Pincher Creek and around that in Lethbridge as well. And for us in Calgary, we got closer to that 50 kilometer per hour mark. It was closer to 40 in Medicine Hat. This will all quiet down for tomorrow. So we're not looking at gusty conditions at all tomorrow. However, in the southwest corner, once again, 70 kilometer per hour gusts are certainly possible. All right, so temperatures today. We got to the double digits in Calgary and now we're sitting at 7. So still very warm for even this time of day. 5 degrees right now in Pincher Creek, 7 in Lethbridge, 6 in Medicine Hat, toasty overall, and we're going to get warmer and warmer. So here's the setup that's going to be moving in. The jet stream is in the darker green here. This jet stream is going to move all the way up to the territories. This is a ridge of high pressure and this will be a strong, consistent ridge of high pressure. This promotes sinking air, stability, sunshine, which allows for more heat because of the sun. And we're going to get this push of warmer air in from the States. So all of these ingredients put us into potentially record-breaking territory as we head through these next few days and the rest of this week, with the warmest being Wednesday and Thursday as we get into the high teens in the city. All right, radar and satellite, you can see that we've had some moisture move down the mountains, but it really just fizzled out by the time it got here because it's so dry. So nothing going on right now. We have no real moisture in the forecast because of this ridge of high pressure that will build its way in. So we may have a little bit down QE2, the rain in the overnight hours, but this is really, these systems will be tracking in through central Alberta. Southern Alberta will not be getting much of this at all, other than some cloud cover at times. All right, let's look at this warm up here. 9 degrees for tomorrow. So we're going to lose the Chinook winds. We're going to get this ridge of high pressure set up. 17 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday. That may break some records. 16 for Friday. Still into the teens for Saturday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. And when you look ahead for the next 10 days, the next 10 days will be above freezing, with the warmest being Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. For the second time, a recall petition to oust an Alberta MLA has come up short. The organizer of the campaign to recall UCP MLA Angela Pitt says he is giving up the campaign after collecting about 2,200 names. The petition needed 15,000 signatures by the end of Tuesday to go ahead. Derek Keenan says despite the result, the petition brought attention to local concerns in the Airdrie East riding. 26 petitions were launched last year against members of the legislature. The provincial NDP is launching a legislative petition calling for the province to declare a state of emergency on health care. The petition calls to declare the state of emergency, reinstating a central command for coordination and decision-making, and reconvening the legislature to hold an emergency debate on health care. The legislature isn't scheduled to resume until late February. The NDP says the Premier and MLAs in charge of health care have rarely spoken about hospitalizations while they've been climbing, and he wants Premier Smith to address it.
Actually outline the actions she has taken in the last month. What has she done since doctors, patients, and family members have been raising alarms? What specific steps is she taking to fix the healthcare crisis going forward?
As of the most recent update on January 17th, nearly 3,500 people have been hospitalized for the flu, with more than 250 requiring intensive care. However, weekly hospitalizations have slowed. Just ahead, the battle to build Canada's next generation of submarines. On board in South Korea with what's in the sales pitch. And Sunday night's Grammys are about more than just music when the stars gather in LA. South Korea is pulling out all the stops to win the bid to build Canada's next generation of submarines. CTV News has learned that plans are in the works to sail one of Hanwha's submarines across the Pacific to Canada this spring. Senior national correspondent Judy Trin is in Koje with the exclusive story.
A deep dive into what could be the biggest defense procurement in Canada's history, the purchase of up to 12 submarines.
Because this has now evolved into a government-to-government situation. It's a big, big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come.
To persuade, the South Korean Navy plans to sail the KSS-3 submarine across the Pacific and dock in British Columbia, a journey that will take 2 months.
Hands up here.
Okay. CTV News also got to see Hanwha's pitch up close. We couldn't film because of security protocols, but the attack submarine holds about 50 sailors. It launches vertical missiles that target land and has torpedoes. But the deciding factor will rest on economic benefits. To win the contract, Hanwha is pledging to help hard-hit businesses, like investing $345 million in Algoma to buy its steel and help it build a plant to make beams.
It's been tough as tariffs have been in place for a year and half of our business has gone away.
While some companies are hurting, others are looking for ways to expand. Using robotic technology, Hanwha builds 45 ships annually on its assembly line. Speed, Ontario's shipyards want to emulate.
I mean, what they do here is cutting edge. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can bring just a fraction of that to Canada, I think us as a country would be a lot further ahead in our shipbuilding endeavors.
The deadline for Hanwha and TKMS to submit their bids is March 2nd. It's a deal that could be worth $100 billion spread over more than 3 decades. It's investment that Canada needs to protect itself from Donald Trump's trade war. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
U.S. President Donald Trump has ruled out military force to take over Greenland. But today, the Prime Minister of the semi-autonomous territory reminded lawmakers that Donald Trump does still want to acquire the island. Jan's Frederick Nielsen told Parliament his government will continue to increase dialogue with Western countries and Denmark and work for even closer cooperation with the EU. Diplomatic talks between the U.S., Denmark and Greenland began last week. Trump has said America must have Greenland because of national security concerns related to Russia and China. Some European NATO allies say the issue threatens to fracture the whole alliance. Frank Stronach is set to stand trial this week, facing a dozen allegations of sexual assault involving 7 women. The billionaire businessman has denied all of the allegations against him. The allegations relate to incidents as far back as 1977, before the current definition of sexual assault was made law. The courtroom was closed today as lawyers wrangled over pretrial motions and what will be a trial by judge. Observers say that could be a strategic move. Stronach's lawyers have said he intends to fight the allegations in court. The mother of NBC's Today Show host Savannah Guthrie has been reported missing, and Arizona police say they are now investigating her disappearance as a crime.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we process that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday morning. Police say her disappearance is not linked to dementia. Search and rescue teams, including dogs and helicopters, were dispatched but did not find her. They say Guthrie is in need of her daily medication. Super Bowl commercials are starting to pop up online before the big game. You won't have to wait until Sunday to see this one, though, starring Lady Gaga reimagining a song we all know. Our trending videos are next. Music's biggest night made a lot of noise in Los Angeles Sunday as the 68th annual Grammy Awards put the spotlight on artists. Many of them used their platform to speak out against the immigration crackdown in the U.S. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
What would I do if I didn't love you, baby?
Four-time Grammy nominee Justin Bieber seemingly serenaded his wife Hailey Bieber in what host Trevor Noah called a captivating performance. This was Noah's 6th and final turn as host.
I believe in term limits. Yeah, I wanted to set an example for anyone who might be watching the show. You know, just leave when your time is up.
And there were more messages to anyone listening in the White House.
Bad Bunny!
The Puerto Rican superstar is set to perform at next week's Super Bowl and as such was not allowed to perform on the Grammy stage.
I'm going to say
Eyes out.
He used the platform to send a strong message.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans. The hate get more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love.
He wasn't alone. Best New Artist winner, Olivia Dean.
I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated. So yeah, we're nothing without each other. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much. Bye.
A number of those in attendance wore Ice Out pins, including Song of the Year winners Phineas and Billie Eilish.
No one is illegal on stolen land. I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter and the people matter.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
Well, we didn't see that Lady Gaga picked up a couple of Grammys last night, and maybe this will be another win for her next year.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Lady Gaga has reimagined the classic tune, Won't You Be My Neighbor? She says for generations, Mr. Rogers was a heartfelt presence for kids and families all over the world. This recreation of this modern classic is for an ad, actually, that's going to run during the Super Bowl this Sunday. But you've seen it here first. She has such a beautiful voice.
Yeah, she's so talented.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know the saying, teamwork makes the dream work, and that is especially true at the Fire Hall.
Sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA.
Surf's up, you guys. You don't really need the water if you've got willing co-workers that'll have some fun with you.
Those guys clearly have too much time on their hands.
I was going to say there's a lot of downtime. When they're busy, they're really busy.
Yeah.
But when there's no fires, what else are you supposed to do?
You got to find something to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Got to amuse yourself somehow. Well, sometimes train platforms have more than just eager commuters waiting to board, especially in Australia, whereas wildlife is abundant.
Right.
So there was a snake. A commuter in Sydney is being commended for his bravery for dealing with a snake on the train platform. He's there on the right. He pins it down first till he can kind of get his hands on it, and then he grabs it and he just flings it off the platform. A spokesperson for the transportation agency says that snake was either a black or brown snake. Both of those are venomous.
Yeah.
I feel like if you live in Australia, you have to just be willing to encounter all of these things.
Well, I guess, but venomous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like nothing to them.
They're not afraid. Whatever.
Yeah,
you all learn how to be a snake wrangler, I guess. Yeah. Canada's main stock index regained some of the ground it lost last week. The TSX shed 1,000 points after a drop in precious metal prices. They were the focus again today, and that's next in our business report.
All right, outside it's a little still on the breezy side at times, but the winds will calm down in the next hour or so, and then it will not be windy tomorrow, just a little breezy at times, but it will be warm, just as warm pretty much as today. Today we got up to 10 degrees, we're now sitting at 7. Normal is -1, so well above normal. And another key thing when you're looking at this graphic, 9 hours and 17 minutes of daylight. So we're creeping on up here, and we're going to have lots of sunshine to really appreciate all those extra daylight minutes that we're starting to get here. All right, 10 degrees again was the high in Calgary, so we were actually warmer than parts of southern BC. Victoria, Vancouver got to 9, and you can also see all that cold air that is just hovering over the eastern half of the country and much of the prairies. We are going to be in a warming trend for the rest of this week. In fact, for the next 10 days, we will be above freezing. It's 7 in Calgary right now, in Lethbridge, 6 in Medicine Hat, 5 in Pincher Creek, and nothing going on, no moisture in our forecast. In fact, whatever came down the mountains here, because it's so dry, just fizzled out and dried up. All right, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. 0 to kick off the day, and then 9 in the afternoon with calm winds. When we look at everywhere else, 8 for Kamloops tomorrow. A lot of cloud cover in southern BC for tomorrow. And for central Alberta as well, Edmonton mainly cloudy, a high of 3. Drumheller should get to 5 for tomorrow. Lethbridge 10, Medicine Hat 7. And it will get even warmer in the coming days, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Let's return to breaking news now in the tragic crash in southern Alberta that has claimed the life of 3 junior hockey players. Camilla Di Giuseppe joins us again. So Cam, what more do we know about the players?
Well, Tara, news of the players' deaths is hitting the hockey community terribly hard tonight, not just in Alberta, but in BC and across the border in the U.S. Earlier, we confirmed to our audience that 17-year-old Caden Fine from Birmingham, Alabama, was in the car that collided with a semi-gravel truck near Stavely, Alberta. He played center with the Southern Alberta Mustangs. Also in that vehicle with Caden was Mustangs left winger J.J. Wright and Cameron Casorso, who played goalie, both 18 years old and from Kamloops, BC. The 3 teens were on their way to hockey practice when their small passenger vehicle collided with that semi-gravel truck just outside of Stavely where the boys play. The Mustangs posting about just how devastated they are and that their hockey family is hurting and everyone who knew and loved these boys. The Kamloops Minor Hockey Association echoing the same sentiments tonight, saying these 3 young men were teammates and friends to many. We are grieving together, they say, as one hockey family. Now, this video of the crash that happened at 11 this morning just got into our newsroom a short time ago. It happened on Highway 2 at 55th Avenue in Stavely, about an hour south of Calgary. Now, almost 8 hours later, that scene has been cleared. It's not far from where the 3 boys played for the Mustangs at the Stavely Agriculture Society. Calgary EMS say it was an ambulance crew transferring a patient unrelated to the tragic incident that came across the crash and then called for help. The investigation, Tara, into the crash, of course, it's ongoing. We can tell you the driver of the gravel truck, a 40-year-old man from Stavely, was treated for minor injuries on scene, and we will bring you our viewers more details as they become available, and we will have the very latest on CTV News at 11:30 and online at ctvnewscalgary.ca. Tara.
Just tragic. Camilla, thank you. Precious metal stocks crashed last week. Did they recover today? Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Gold and silver stocks dragged down the TSX over 1,000 points on Friday, and both struggled to gain ground today. Spot gold dropped another 2% after that 12% drop-off on Friday. Spot silver dropped about 2% as well after plummeting more than 30% Friday. Investors had pushed both to record highs on concerns about the tariffs and turmoil with the U.S. building up its military presence in the Middle East. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.14. West Texas Intermediate down over $3 to 62.14. Western Canadian Select down to 50.36. And the TSX gained 260 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
In Rome, tourists visiting the famous Trevi Fountain will have to spend more than just the coin they toss over their shoulder. The city has imposed a $2.35 fee to get close to the fountain during primetime daylight hours. The new measure is intended to decrease overcrowding of the area, stem petty crime, and protect the fountain itself. However, the view for those admiring the late Baroque masterpiece from the piazza above, essentially street level, that remains free. It is always a raucous event when the Maple Leafs are in town, and Flames fans are looking for an added spark with Zane Perek in the lineup. Glenn has a preview for us next. Balzac Billy says we're in for another 6 weeks of winter. Billy popped out around 8 this morning, saw his shadow, and gave the thumbs down. But there were mixed reports across the country. Wyerton Willie in Ontario and Fred Lamarmot in Quebec. I don't even know if this Fred Lamarmot. Both said spring is on the way, and Nova Scotia's Shubenacadie Sam didn't even bother getting out of bed. Well, it's storming there. Of course he stayed in bed. Well, you know there's going to be a lot of blue and white in the Saddle Dome tonight. Glenn is back with us. Always a good atmosphere when the Leafs are in town.
Tara, it's usually pretty hard to figure out who the home team is. The Flames and Leafs tonight at the Dome. The return of Zane Perek to the lineup.
As Porter Marteau puts it back across, Perek in, shoots, scores! It's been a bit of a whirlwind the last couple of months for Flames defenseman Zane Perek. He starred for Canada at the World Junior Hockey Tournament, then went to the Wranglers on a conditioning stint.
Perek, oh, what a great move off the wall, shoots, oh, hello!
Now he's back with the Flames and returns to the lineup on Monday against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I feel good. The last 2 months have been, good, and I'm really looking forward to tonight. Just trying to get better. I think that was the biggest focus. Just had some more urgency away from the puck when I was down with the Wranglers, and found some confidence with my game with the puck. So last 2 months have been great. Hopefully it carries over here.
Parekh will be paired with Joel Hanley. Head coach Ryan Huska thinks the time away did the youngster some good, and this is what he's expecting from Parekh.
Just play his game. We've always, since he's been here and his time with the Wranglers, is to increase the urgency probably without the puck. That's something that we asked him to work on. And I guess the same holds true with the puck, the decision that he makes with it. So he went down there and he had a good stretch of games. He had some good practice, and I feel like he got himself back up to speed playing against men again.
Parekh certainly seemed to regain his offensive touch when he was away from the team, and hopefully he has his swagger back.
I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling good, and I'm having fun again.
Meanwhile, it's always a bit of a circus when the Leafs come to town. Nazem Kadri used to play for the Blue and White and always gets up to play his former team.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be some different colored jerseys, but nothing we haven't seen before. I think obviously, Leafs Nation's pretty good at that. I'm sure a lot of people from out east live here now, so not much you can do, but try to create a spark that way.
Puck drop for tonight's game a little after 8 o'clock at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. The final of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts was yesterday, and what a final it was.
Final stone. Now here's Gordon. Here's Gordon. They got it by. Have they got this? Oh no, they touched it and it won't go.
Yeah, the final of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts was a close one. Went to extra ends. Carrie Anderson and Caitlin Laws. Laws just misses the shot in 11, so that meant Anderson going back to the Worlds. She's a 5-time Scotties champ. Final score 4-3. Quite a matchup between two really good rinks.
That's some exciting curling. All right, final peek at the forecast, Danielle.
It's an exciting forecast as well. Maybe record-breaking heat on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be close at 17. I can't believe I'm saying 17 and 17. But this is the forecast because of a huge ridge of high pressure that will be hovering over us for all of this week, starting to get set up tomorrow. So tomorrow about 9, still some cloud cover, and then that will start to work its way out, and temperatures will just build and build. Wednesday, Thursday, 17. Still in the teens for the weekend. Oh my goodness. All right, Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Now the weather has been warm for the past couple of days and today thanks to the Chinook winds. And this is a awesome picture of the Chinook Arch taken in airdrie by Ed Reinders. So thank you very much for sending that in. That's pretty cool.
And for breaking news anytime, go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.